And I'm muted, so nice. Nice start to this return of EPL on Saturdays. Had a couple weeks off. Feel like we haven't done a show in a long time. Um, Going to be a fun one. We did get one game canceled, the Leicester game. So still a 3-game slate, better than we've got throughout the week with a bunch of showdowns, things like that. Pretty excited about this slate. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go. So I think we can get a little different, both in cash games and GPPs here. So I'm going to hop right in. We've got the lineups. What I like to do on these shows is go through each game by game, as I update lineups, see what changes from my original thoughts. So let's hop right in. Well, first off, if you guys have not joined us over at patreon.com/JagerBombs, be sure to do so. The link is in the chat, as well as going across the bottom of the screen. $10 if you just want one sport, $20 if you want all sports. 20 is a great value for a day like today when you got EPL, college basketball, NFL, UFC, tons going on today, and you get all of that in the one price of the 20. You get our Discord chat, access to all of our coaches. So be sure to check that out. If you have not tried Prize Picks, there's Cody Yeager going across the bottom. If you use that code, you get 100% match bonus up to $100. If you use that code with them, I will try to get to, at the end of this show, get to some Prize Picks plays for EPL. I'm assuming they have them posted. As I've mentioned before on these shows, I'm not able to play Prize Picks at this time in Virginia. But we'll try to get over there and get some winners over there on that side. Also, we have a partnership with Fanshare Sports. Use the promo code Yeager there as well. 20% off your subscription with them. They have an optimizer for both NFL and PGA. They have ownership projections. Really cool way they go about that. They aggregate tags across the industry and then give you a ownership percentage as well. So be sure to check them out. So let's hop right in. First game of the day, we got Watford and Newcastle. Newcastle at home is a plus 105 favorite as of last night. I'll update the odds as well. Definitely looking for some things in these lineups, especially with Watford. Might get a little bit more value. So let's start on that side. We've got King and Dennis, Sissoko. So no Cleverly. Move Dennis here. Pedro is starting up front. Not really on him. This is I'm not going to pretend to know who this guy is at this point, but he's 3,500. Edo, we're going to call him, has not played in the EPL this season. 3 new starters who have not played in EPL this year for Watford today. So no Femina. He is not. Kamara has not started. Samir has not started. Not played at all. This is not that they've not just not started, but they've not played at all. This is Jeremy Ngakia. He is out on the wing. So it looks like formation-wise for them, and this has been Foster. So a lot of changes for Watford. Could be, I already liked Newcastle today. I think this just kind of gives them a little bit more upside with some difference in the defenders for Watford from what they're used to. New combination with Ben Foster in that back 3, and Ngakia doesn't start that often. Samir, Kamara in that back. Well, it's showing a back 4 on Sofa Score, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Like I said, these guys have not played. I need to do a little bit more digging. I'll do that when we get these lineups in on those guys. It looks like Edo is going to be in the midfield out wide, though, and Kamara is a wing back. So maybe we could look at him. Samir looks like he's going to be one of the back three, so not really on him, even though he's 2,900. On the other side, we do get Chris Wood. It's his debut, I believe, with Newcastle. So these stats are not with Newcastle, but we'll still leave them in there for now. St. Maximum, Joe Ellington, Longstaff, Shelby. We do get Frazier. We do get, this is going to be Paul Dummett. And then we do get the debut also of Kieran Trippier. So this is a guy that we know gets forward. We know has some upside with crossing. Newcastle as a team that with their just approach, they love to cross. So definitely going to be in on Trippier and Fraser, who are both out wide. I mean, I think they have a lot of upside. This is still all the same. The 3 defender build is going to be pretty popular today, especially in cash games. I think those are 2 of the 3 right there. Fraser, and then again, 2 more in this game who have not started or played in the EPL this year. So that's interesting from what we're used to. Chris Wood, 4,800. We're going to get to a cheap forward play down with Wolves. Raul Jimenez. I think Jimenez is going to be much more popular than Chris Wood. I think Wood is a nice GPP pivot there. St. Maximum, 8,200. Tough price for cash games, single entry. But you could definitely go there in GPPs if you're going on that narrative that I mentioned a few minutes ago, that Watford struggling a little bit with this team they've put out there in the back line especially. I think you could definitely play both Wood, St. Maximum, Fraser, Trippier. I think all are very good plays today. Joe Ellington, much more just GPP. I think Trippier could get on some sets with Fraser. So really, really like those 2. They're going to be core guys for me today. Moving on, we got Everton, who's been struggling quite a bit in the EPL, and Norwich, who's obviously been struggling all year, look destined for relegation. But if you look at Everton, I mean, they're not that far out of the relegation battle themselves. So they really need to get it going. I was really hoping we would see Richarlison today, but we do not. It's Calvert-Lewin. No Andros Townsend. So this is going to open up a little bit. Well, we have no Andros Townsend. Lucas Dean was also transferred to Aston Villa. So he's not going to be in there. It looks like Damari Gray and maybe some Anthony Gordon sets. I think I was really on Townsend. I think that moves me more on to Damari Gray, even though the price is tough. I mean, he's the highest priced player on the slate, Damari Gray. This is going to be Rondon. If you guys have any questions, I've not looked in the chat here in a couple minutes, but if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them in. I will get to those periodically throughout the show. This is a good matchup, even though it's on the road for Everton. I think you have to like them here. Another guy who, in Michaelenko, who has not started or played in the EPL this year. Again, they're trying to fill Lucas Dean a little bit here as he was moved out. Godfrey, Keane, Pickford. So I think Pickford, even though priced up, is a fine play today against Norwich. Not my favorite keeper, but if you have the salary, I think you could definitely go there. I'm finding in initial playing around with builds that it's not that hard to get up to some of these higher price keepers today. I know we usually like to play down, but might not need to today. Pukki, Sargent, Rashika. This is so Adam Ida. It's going to be starting there. This is going to be Sorensen. Aaron's, Williams. All right, so all the normals there. Not really on much from Norwich except for Milot Rashica, who's 6,700, has shown a floor in a lot of games this year. Obviously has a little bit of upside as well. I think Pukki, GPP only, and I'm not really on him today. I think Rashika and possibly Max Aarons is really the only place that I would even think about going for Norwich. Cruel, if you want to pay down at keeper, I suppose you could go there. I'm going to change these highlights. Rondon is not really in play for me with those other cheap forwards. Damari Gray is, and this does bring Anthony Gordon into play as well, who might jump on a couple set pieces. Not really on their fullbacks. I just never are really on any Everton fullbacks except what was Lucas Dean. Michaelenko might be fine. I think you could go there if you really needed to. But like I said, there's so many good defenders on this slate. I don't think you need it personally. So this game, I think you could definitely stack up Everton if you wanted to. Would definitely be the side. I think Calvert-Lewin is very intriguing for GPPs, even though he's priced up at 9,100. Should be on PK duty as well. So gotta like Calvert-Lewin as a plus 100 favorite here, even though it's on the road against the dreadful Norwich, we'll say, at this point in the year. Damari Gray, like I said, the top option overall, and then Gordon could split sets. Pickford, a GPP option as well. Last game, and then we'll play around with some builds. I'll get to some questions. Let me go ahead and check that, see if we've got any questions filtered in. Nope. And so the last game is going to be Southampton and Wolves. So Southampton's got Broja, Redmond, let's see, Nathan Tella, James Ward-Prowse, Diallo. So looking like all the same projected starters for Southampton. So James Ward-Prowse, I think, is obviously the top overall play, as he most always is with Southampton. I think he can be a priority. I don't know if you will be able to play both Anthony Gordon and James Ward-Prowse, but we'll see if we can get there. Broja, GPP, he's now priced pretty high compared to what we're used to. I like the Wolves side much better in this game. They have looked very, very good recently. We saw them last game against Manchester United just kind of dominate them on the road. I was not expecting that, but we did have the bet in on them to either not lose or pull out the outright. So that did come to fruition, but I did not expect them to dominate possession like they did. So we've got Jimenez, we've got Podence, we've got hold on one second. Sorry. All right, so then we've got João Moutinho. We've got Neves is not in, so this is going to be Dendoncker. And Cal is in. He split sets a little bit, so he is one of my favorite value plays of the day. And then Nori is starting, so that's nice. Semedo. We've got Cody Gomes, another guy who's not played. I don't even know if he's in the pool. Probably goes by a different name, so that's nice. He is not in the pool unless Cody. No. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm not seeing Cody Gomes in the player pool. Not that we were going to play him anyway in the back three. That's kind of where we're at there. And then Jose Sa would definitely be my favorite keeper on the slate. Priced at 4,900, I think is very doable. I expect Wolves to continue this run of form today. So got to have some interest in him. Richarlison did make the bench for Everton. Really was hoping that he started. He'll probably sub on at some point for Rondon and crush our hopes and dreams. That's just how it usually goes. Like I said early on, Raul Jimenez 5,100 is just way too cheap. He's got upside in this matchup. With the way Wolves is playing, I think you have to have interest in him. Podence, 8,000, priced a little bit higher, makes him GPP only, but he was very involved against Manchester United. And so was João Moutinho, who is usually a guy that we think of that just has sets. I'm not really on him. I don't see – I mean, he did get there because of sets pretty much last game. They had a ton of corners, 5,600, not really for me. But if you're full stacking Wolves, I suppose you could go there. Trincao, like I mentioned, one of my favorite values at 4,600 in the midfield. He did split some set pieces in their last game. Aït-Nouri at 6,300 is one of those defenders that we have to have interest in. He could possibly jump on some sets too. So I expect a split. You're not really playing any of these guys strictly for set pieces. Trincao and Aït-Nouri have open play value, so really like them the most. And then Jimenez for value. And then, like I said, Jose Sa is definitely in play as well at that price tag. So it's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to play around with, just show my core really quick over on DraftKings, and then I'm going to hop off of here. Let me share that. If my screen will load. Okay. So I had a holder in there. This, so my core right now is really that start, that 3 defender build. If we can go somewhere else, I think Trincao makes a lot of sense. I think James Ward-Prowse makes a lot of sense. The problem becomes now at 6,600, what can you do? And I did mention 2 valued forwards with Chris Wood and Raul Jimenez. So that Wood gives you 8,400 in this build. You can get St. Max. You can get Podence. You can get Redmond if you wanted to go that route with Southampton, Broja. If you go up 300 more, obviously you lose St. Max, but you could still play Podence with just full-on stack Wolves. I suppose you could go there. But really like that build. If I was going to drop one of those defenders, it would be Ryan Fraser. And then that would kind of become my core there. So I'm 6,100 left over. I think you can do a lot of things with that. Morning, Tito. So that's kind of my core for the day. Glad you could join us. I know you had a busy morning you were mentioning in chat, but that is pretty much my core today. Going to play around with that. Could change. I mean, if it maybe come off JWP. I really don't want to, because if you look at his game logs, I mean, we know he's got set pieces. We know he's got the open play value. Look at those game logs with the crosses: 7, 4, 4, 11, 7 in their last 5. No DK score under 11. And that when he scored 11 was when they lost 3-0. Any game they've scored goals: 28, 24, 17, 19. Just gets to double digits, and I think has the safest floor on the slate, even in a little bit tougher matchup going against Wolves. If you go to Damari Gray at 9, you're looking at 9,900, 18, 12, 19, 17. I think you just got to make that decision. 12 crosses against Brighton. Very good to see with him. I think you could definitely go there, but it's probably going to be one of the 2, unless you just find a full punt in the utility. I mean, I suppose you could go for GPPs down to a guy in the utility like, let me see if there's any other. Oh, I know what I was going to do before I hop off here. I was going to check. That's my core. That's where I'm looking at going. I'm going to look at Edo here on this back end site that we use, and just see what we've got here for Edo and Kamara, because they are out wide, and Edo's 3,500 in the midfield. Okay. Congo, from the Congo. Okay. So this is a big game for him, it looks to me. I mean, this is definitely his biggest maybe not expected to go 90. Let's see here. Crosses, he does not cross very often. In his last 2 stops, he played in the first division in Belgium. With Eupen it looks like the team. Man, he had played 20 90-minute intervals and had 3 crosses a couple years ago. Played 16 so far before he was moved over and had 5 crosses. So that's really not what we want to see there. Let's see, did he score? I mean, what is the deal here? 4 goals and an assist this year in 16 90 minutes. So not really 3,500 in this matchup when I like the other side more. Let's see. And then Hussein Kamara, who looks like he's going to be a winger for them. Out of France. Let's see what he's got. So he's played in League One. A little bit better pedigree there. I mean, I know the other guy's younger. This is mid-20s. We're looking. He does cross for at least. Let's see. Per 90. 2 years ago with Nice, he had almost 3 crosses per 90 minutes. This year with Nice, he has had 2.5 crosses per 90 minutes. So that's nice to see. So I think he is in play, but again, there's so many defenders that are good plays today. I don't know if we can go there or not. Dummett is a winger, but I expect him to play kind of. He would be in the back 3 out of he or Trippier, so not really on Dummett either. Man, those sets for Watford are a little tough. I might update in chat if something changes with the Watford sets that I can find out there. But that's where I'm at for today. If you have any questions, hit me up in chat. Good luck to everybody, and let's have a good return of EPL on Saturdays.